Welcome to Bob's Workshop again, another little project that I've been doing while we're all seized up with this pandemic going on, and I decided that I would make, for this particular engine, which is my 7 1/4 Hanslet, I'd make the grate from stainless steel, which meant that I had to produce 34 spacers all of the same size, which led me to a little bit of an issue about how I was going to do that. Anyway, I came up with a solution, I think, and I'd like to show you that solution. So, I made quite a little while ago this to do another little job, and this is a chuck backstop, which most people probably would have had in some kind of form or other, but in my case this is a Morse taper number 5, which is the headstock on my machine. This is a piece of 8mm threaded bar which goes in to this backstop for about an inch and a quarter, so it's threaded all the way, so that is adjustable, and on the end of it is a little brass spacer depending on the diameter you wish to turn. So I made this one to screw on the 8mm and adjusted it to the width of the spacers I wanted for the ashpan, and then this one slides into the headstock, and with the key you can turn the jaws down to meet the size of the spacer. Now, this is just a brass spacer to show you how this works. So you then press the spacer against the brass end, tighten the jaws, and there we have the spacer. Machine it off to the required thickness that you want for each of your spacers. Job done. So that was a new one I made just for this particular job. Now, in order to make it a bit more flexible, and one of the reasons I screwed right to the end was that I can screw that comes out, the brass end comes off. So I've made another brass end, but this time it's hexagon, but it can be any shape because it's only acting as a backstop. So again, that can be adjusted depending on you want. Slacken that screw off and you can go up or in depending on how you wish to it. Lock screw, back up the headstock, and then you've got now a larger size which you can do. So by having the threaded ends you can make them quite flexible. Most people have a Myford machine, and the Myford has got a Morse taper number 2. So you can purchase these. RGD and a few other suppliers will give you these. They have a soft end, Morse taper number 2. This has got a tang end, but you can machine this to any diameter you want, or you could drill and tap it. Again, put a threaded bar in and make use of that as a chuck backstop. That's one way. The other way is that this one has got a threaded end, and I think this is 7/16 UNC. I've machined this one down to 1/2 inch so I could slip a wheel on it, and that goes up the headstock, drawbar in the back, holds it tight, machine it at the diameter you want, and slide the wheel on. Job done. So in order to complete this, we made 34 spacers, all of the same, obviously drilled, parted, back in the backstop, machined all of them back, countersunk them so each of them slide on the 1/4 inch hole in the middle. So we ended up with 34 spacers, all in stainless steel. So that's that. A few other things about the chuck while we are here. I had a visitation from a friend earlier in the year, and he looked at the front of my 3-jaw chuck and saw all these tapped holes. why have you got all these tapped holes in the front of your chuck? What do you use those for? And I said, well, they're used for these spacers. And these are Durolin spacers that I've machined. And I have 3 of them. And with these holes, spacer fits to that. You have 3. 1, 2, 3. And that means that you could hold a much larger diameter, and again, deciding on what the thicknesses you want, you can make these at any thickness you want. And again, by using the backstop, you can make a set of these different lengths. I use that for machining wheels. So that's that one. And that's just a standard M6 bolt. So each of these in 2 different radiuses, an internal one and an external one, both used. There's 2 there because of the oiler, and that, so there's only 1 in the middle on the lower range, but there are 2 each side of that for the outer one. Now the other thing that my friend spotted was the mark on the front of my 3-jaw chuck. Now I seen a video a little while ago that an American had done by the name of Joe Pye. Now Joe Pye had made a comment about the safety use of 3-jaw chuck, and while we all like to have guards, very often it's impossible to guard everything. So what Joe was saying was 3-jaw chuck. Jaw number 3, which we all should know which is which. Jaw number 3 is the first one to go in, and the last one to go in and the first one to come out. What you don't want to do is to have that one come out while the machine is rotating. So what I've done, I've actually marked my 3-jaw chuck with a scribe line as to where the safety limit is on undoing my jaw of the chuck. Now get to the safety line, and there we are. Now that's the maximum amount that I would be prepared to put anything in my machine. Because what I've done is that I've done 2 complete scroll turns, and number 3 will come out. And you don't want that joker to come out when the machine is rotating, because it'll go through you and the wall of the workshop. 1, 2, solid. So there we are. Another little safety feature, and I would advise everyone who has a 3-jaw chuck to put that mark on it. But very often subconsciously you will undo it further than that. That mark. Well, I hope you find that little video useful. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.